Yes, sir. This is the kind of used RV I like to see right here. This is a Laredo 266 that just came in on trade. They just sized up into a triple slide fifth wheel. But what we've got here is a living room super slide, a couple rocking chairs, and a full bed slide in something that's just about, what, 30 to 32 feet, something in that smaller range, something in a shorter fifth wheel range, because you got to remember about the first 4 feet of that fifth wheel actually hang over the truck. You're only towing 26, 27 feet behind you. If you're looking for something really fit for towing and going, this would be an awesome fit for a more mobile lifestyle right here.
Okay, so before I stepped into the camper to start recording, I had to step away, and I swear I had my battery disconnected. And when I came back, that thing was just drained dead. So either I'm an idiot and didn't flip the disconnect, which is totally within the realm of possibility, mind you, or this thing has the most wicked parasitic load coming off that thing I've ever seen. There's no way it should have drained my box already by now, but I had to swap my box out. So what I'm getting at here is, regardless of what the case may be, I tell you, a little pro tip, one little upgrade I would definitely recommend throwing on this one is a battery disconnect switch. You ain't gonna regret having it.
All right, let there be light. Huh. Well, that's terribly underwhelming.
Although that really shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to me. These older rigs just did not have the higher intensity LED lighting like a lot of today's models do. I get kind of spoiled by that. It actually makes a heck of a difference. It's not that these lights make no difference, especially on camera here, but you could turn them off and it's not like it changes whether you can or cannot navigate the coach anyway. Now, this is a interesting kind of classic. Keystone used to do this a lot. They did it here in Laredo. They did it in Sprinters. They did it all over the place. This interesting kind of hybrid rear living, rear entertainment sort of situation. It can be very like solitary. It can be very social. It just really depends on how you want to dress this one up with some decent window coverage on it. I did notice, always trying to point out whatever I can, that tall, thin toothpick window next to that chair beside the door, shade on that needs restrung. Ooh, bigger vent fan up here in the kitchen area. That's a nice find. Now that TV is on a little swing arm. It can pivot around for some better, easy viewing. And I do like all the window coverage on this. I'm standing in the slide box right now, which is actually kind of cool. Let me flip the camera around here for you. You can see that this is a true like walk-in slide. Like, what do we got here? We probably got about, what, a six... Keep hitting my own hat, obviously. We've got about, I don't know, a 6'4" clearance or something like that in here, but enough that it's a good, I think, true walkable space, which is kind of cool. Flip you back around. Flip you back, hit the button, Josh. There we go. Okay, look, I'm not going to win awards for my cinematography work anytime soon here, so let's just acknowledge that. But regardless, what we got here? It's got a nice warm feel. And actually what I was going to talk about in the slide before I couldn't hit the button is the fact that there's actually a radiant barrier running through the slide floor. I can hear it kind of crinkling under my feet. Crinkleating being the actual technical term in the RV nerd definitionary, which will be, I believe that book will be publishing on the 19th of Febtober. So make sure you add that to your Amazon bestseller reserve list. Anyway, something I noticed here is that is not the original dining table, but I don't dislike it. They put a nice little kind of just residential table over here. You know, 4 floating chairs, table legs. I'm wondering if those, I don't even know if those are the original chairs. They could be, they might not be. I sound like Chris Rock. Could be. I don't know. I do like, though, there's like some cool little preventative measures. Little pool noodles next to the window there so the chairs aren't jiggle banging around. That's just like, there should be a book, 1,001 things you can do with your noodle. Just a picture of a guy with a pool noodle on the front. You can play with it. You can smack people with it. You can put it on chairs. You can, if they're the ones with the holes, you know, that you can shoot water at people when you're in the pool or whatever. you can put those things on your downspouts to extend the downspouts on an RV. That's a cool little kind of camping hack right there. That's an 8 cubic foot gas electric fridge freezer, by the way. That's when this was made, like everything in this size and class had a 6 cubic foot fridge. I remember that was actually a real big deal Laredo liked to talk about. Now, the upper deck here is actually one of the reasons the folks swapped this out. This is a 60 by 80 True Queen bed. It is a split bath, and that was one of the reasons they wanted to do this. It was a grandpa and grandma owned rig. For the most part, it was just the two of them, and they definitely took care of this thing. But they didn't account for the grandkids coming along, and that's usually something that works almost more to the advantage of people is not budgeting on occasional, not permanent sort of guests and bodies sleeping in the RV. Most of the time, grandkids do not come along with grandpa and grandma as much as you might think they would or want them to. That's a very normal occurrence in the RV industry. These folks were actually rather the exception to that rule. And pardon me as I spin you around the corner here. The grandkids actually came along with pretty fair regularity. The trick is, with this open split bath, it just, they said, it worked fine when it was just the two of us, but whenever the kids come along, it's just not working for me anymore. And they wanted a fully enclosed traditional bathroom. Now, one of the things I also noticed here is this is a single amp camper. Nope, single air camper with 50 amp service. There we go. But it is second air ready. That's what that little junction box is up there. Single amp camper. One of these days, I am going to be able to get through one of these videos without jumbling over my words like a complete idiot. I don't know what's going to be. It hasn't happened in the first 13 years of my career. It's probably not going to happen in the next 13. But the 27th year, that's going to be my year, guys. That's going to be the year it all comes together. You wait. You wait.
And I tell you, one of the first things I noticed on this that really tipped me off the fact that I was like, okay, I could already tell this is going to be very nice even before I step inside in terms of how it was maintained by the previous folks, was the condition of the decals. This was made during a period where Keystone didn't always have the best decals on their RVs. I will tell you, you can't even see it from camera, I'm sure. The very top of that dark Laredo decal does show a little bit of weather checking. The rest of this, though, the skin, the decals, you can see, even on an overcast day, you can still see the gleam coming off this thing like the gleam coming off my balding 5 head, which, it's actually getting close to a half a dozen head at this point. You multiply that by my double chin, and boy, we got a dozen reasons for me to be disappointed in Mother Nature giving me these genetics. Large pass-through compartment in here. You may have noticed at the top of that there is actually a dedicated heat duct. And did you catch the strong arm stabilizer jacks right here? If you've never had some of these, I am such a believer in the stability that they give you. I've only ever seen one person who said, nah, they didn't do anything for me. And that's over years and years and years. I gotta believe that they just weren't set up properly. I don't know. The tires on this just look absolutely phenomenal. And this is actually riding on Dexter axles, and if you peek between them, you can see the Dexter shock dampener system. But what actually really surprised me out here is right behind those tires. This has 4-point auto leveling. There were not a lot of fifth wheels of this size equipped with auto leveling at the time this was made. Fast forward to 10 years later today, and really, it's almost shocking to see auto leveling not be standard on an RV. But that was not the case when this was first produced. We'll get you up on the roof in just a minute. The underbelly of this is enclosed. It is forced air heated. And we were a Laredo dealer for a couple years right about the time this was made. I remember their underbelly package pretty well still, even today. It was enclosed, again, forced air heated, like I said. They did have a radiant barrier layering in play, and they actually wrapped each holding tank in batten insulation just to give you a little bit extra protection. Just peek around here through the other side of the pass-through real quick. Just let you see things like little Dirt Devil collection point. I actually like how there's the central vacuum hookup down here too for your basement. That's just a neat little touch. Little peek down below here. Let's do a little Mario jump up top, shall we? Here we go. I think I jammed my ankle doing that stunt. Why does it just hurt when you get older? Everything just hurts. Everything just sucks when you get older. Anyway, whatever. The sealants and everything up here look good. That, obviously there's a little chimney cap missing off of that guy right there, but that's the worst I'm finding up here. I noticed back by like the kitchen skylight, there was one corner of the sealant and maybe a spot over there that is just due for a touch-up bead. That's all I can find. The, well, other than my dirty feet leaving marks up here, just to give you a contrast, this looks terrific. And since everything's white up here, it's gonna, you know, not chalk and fade in the sun. Something else I noticed that was very uncommon in 2012 production, and still not everybody does it today. Little hockey puck jobs here. The cap that was missing on the other side, that was another one of these. That is an attic heat vent. All of the area inside, like where the insulation, the rafters are, that's our RV attic. It just builds up heat in the summertime. That allows that heat to breathe out, and it makes that air conditioner run so much more efficiently, because you're not leaving the air ducts basically in an oven. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? It just kind of reminded me there. So somehow I missed this one. I missed the fact that apparently a long time ago Jim Varney died. Ernest. I asked my buddy, I'm like, why haven't we seen anything from Jim Varney lately? And he busted out the best airline and goes, he's dead, deep 6, Gophers are bringing him his mail. Couldn't have teed him up any better if I tried. So anytime, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me some notes in the comments section, or just share a couple things that you like about this one. I will leave you a link up in the, well, I guess actually down in the video description, where you can check for pricing and availability on this. And anytime, we would love to work with you here at Haylett RV. When you're ready, we're ready. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.